What's going on, everybody? A little different situation right now. I'm actually in the airport headed out of town, so man, my hair is wrecked. Um, so yeah, gonna dive into today's episode. Sorry for the interesting audio quality. We'll see how it turns out, but yeah, this is what I got so far. So here we go. Jumping into today's episode. Well, what's going on, everybody? Andrew asked me about my podcast, back with another episode. Hope everybody's doing well out there. Yesterday, we welcomed another team into the NHL for the 2022 season. We have the Seattle Kraken joining as the 32nd team into the league. So we had the expansion draft last night. Kind of go into a little bit of the details. Followed the same rules that the Golden Knights did. They're going to come up with a roster of 30 players. They get to choose one person from every single team except for the Golden Knights. So they have to have at least 14 forwards, 9 defensemen, and 3 goalies. Now, for the rest of the NHL, they can protect a bunch of players on their team. So 7 forwards, 3 defensemen, and 1 goalie. Now, there's a bunch of fine print, which I'm not going to go into detail about, but that kind of gives you a general idea of how these teams are formed. And like I mentioned, it's the same process that the Las Vegas Knights did, which took them to the Stanley Cup in their first season. Obviously, they didn't win, but they lost to the Washington Capitals. And that's kind of the whole point behind this expansion draft, is to give a team an immediate chance to be competitive into the league. I think there's a bunch of positives, a bunch of negatives about this. One of the positive things is you get a very engaged audience from the immediate you get an engaging audience immediately, as opposed to waiting for them to win, waiting for them to grow their team, their farm program, everything like that. Gets them going right from the start, which I think is great. Tough part, they are going to be taking a player or two from every single team out there, so your favorite player might be lost to the expansion draft. When it comes to who they picked, reports say they focused on physical play, not necessarily skilled and high-paying players. They want to stay well below the salary cap going into their first year. Now, they still do have some moves to make. They have free agency, and then obviously the typical NHL draft is about to kick off. So I believe that kicks off today, Thursday. So they have an opportunity to draft some players there, so they want to stay well below the salary cap to accommodate some of their moves that they're still going to be making going into the year. Currently, FanDuel has the Kraken right in the middle of the league with the chance of winning the playoffs or Stanley Cup at plus 4,200. I mean, if it anything like the Las Vegas Knights, it's not, might be worth $20 to you to throw in there and see what happens. These are always fun. The expansion drafts are tons of fun. The NHL draft is always fun to watch. It's an always interesting draft versus the NFL. NFL, they're looking for immediate response. NHL, they're kind of looking to groom players. They usually tend to be a lot younger, not necessarily going to make an immediate impact in the league. So kind of a little bit different theory there. So always fun to watch and see who gets drafted. That's going to do it for me. Got a flight to catch here in a couple minutes. Hope everybody has a wonderful day, and I will talk to you all later. See ya.